Chris, you and I attended a Nintendo Switch preview event recently, did we not?
We certainly did, Adam.
And let's start with a game that's not, I believe, coming at launch. It's coming later, and that's called ARMS, which you played a fair bit of, actually. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I quite enjoyed it. It's a weird one.
Okay.
It's. I wasn't expecting it to have that kind of colourful Overwatchy feel to it in terms of the different characters. And
I listened to you on the podcast, and I don't see the Overwatch thing. I don't see it, but I'll go with it. It's fine.
I think it's more the actual characters and the way they feel different to each other at this point. Just like the different power-ups for each one. That's basically the extent of it for me. And
right.
then the combat is nothing like Overwatch. It's more they've taken kind of influence from that world and those characters. But the actual combat is pretty cool once you kind of get used to it. Because after filling my head in like a space of 5 seconds with all the moves and all the buttons, you kind of get used to it. And it is pretty straightforward. So you can, like, once you've got the Joy-Cons in your hand, like Wii controllers, you've got your left and your right triggers, which will either dodge or jump, and then you move them both in the same way. To move your left and to move your right, you move them the other way. So that's your kind of movement in place. And then to actually throw a punch, it's just like you would do on the Wii, like the Wii boxing, by throwing your right hand. But the one thing I did say on the podcast as well, is when you kind of you throw your punch, it then takes a few seconds to hit your opponent, because obviously the arms are extending like those guns with the like.
You're kind of throwing your arms, aren't you?
Yeah, you are, and it just feels a bit delayed. It's weird. It's not like a fast-paced fight. There's a lot more to it. You kind of
It's methodical,
think,
isn't it?
Yeah, you have to think. Well, if I throw this is going to take a while. He could quite easily move and then do something to me whilst, so there's a lot kind of strategies to it for such a simplified game. And I mean, it was a demo, and there is probably going to be more to come, and we'll see a lot more like characters hopefully, and worlds hopefully, and power-ups, and the story mode, which we tried to find like that's for, but wasn't quite sure whether there was going to be one. You'd like to think that there'd be something like that along the way to kind of piece it all together.
Did you ever play Punch-Out on Wii?
No, I didn't.
See, it kind of reminds me of that, but sort of to its natural conclusion.
Right. Okay.
Which means I'm quite excited to see how this game plays out. It does look cool. It looks very. I'm probably going to say this many times during this discussion, but it looks very Nintendo.
Yes,
it looks very colourful, very cartoony. It seems good. But it's the sort of thing, until you can sit down in your own home or office and like chill out with it and actually get to grips with it, it's difficult. We did watch a couple of Nintendo PR guys, one was community, one was PR, I think, play it, and like I certainly saw, oh, hang on, there's more to this than there appeared.
Definitely, yeah.
Which I wonder. I mean, it's a Switch game, but it's not. It's exclusive to Switch. We played Sonic, didn't we? Sonic Mania.
Oh yes, we did. Yeah.
Bit disappointing because not the game. What they'd done at the event was they sort of had some games that had like multiple. Like ARMS was everywhere. You had no problem playing ARMS. There was loads of Zelda units. Which was not. Still didn't mean we got on it quickly. And there were loads of 1-2 Switch units. But Sonic, Bomberman, Street Fighter, Just Dance, Skylanders, and Disgaea, and I think that other game I can't remember the name of, were all basically one demo station. That was it.
Yeah.
And some of them, in fact, I think all of those were on tabletop mode, weren't they? No, they weren't all like that. Some of them were, and unfortunately, I would love to talk more about Bomberman before we get to Sonic, but I can't, because we played that. We played against one another, but it's in tabletop mode, and we were essentially squinting. And do you know that? I don't know if anyone listening or watching rather would identify with this, but there's a thing I do when I'm playing FIFA or PES that you slowly get closer to the screen. I don't know why, but we were doing that with Bomberman, which I thought Bomberman seemed really good, and we haven't had a proper Bomberman for ages. But it just seemed really good. Unfortunately, the only demo unit Nintendo provided was in tabletop mode, and it's not a game that seems suited to that. It's certainly, if you'd had the game, whatever you want to call it, the actual Switch in your hand, no problem. But because it was in tabletop mode, we were leaning in and we couldn't see it, which is the same of Sonic, only that was not tabletop mode. That was actually hold the Switch. You played Sonic. How is Sonic Mania?
It's really good for that one level we got to try. It's one of the new worlds. I think it's Studiopolis,
Right.
and you could choose between that or the Green Hill Zone, but obviously spent years playing that level, so
Yep.
we tried this new one. It's just, I don't know. I find it, they've kind of gone about building a much bigger level structure. It reminded me a lot of Sonic Fire and Ice that came out last year on the 3DS. Their worlds are incredible, but they still maintain that special kind of essence of the originals, where it's a 2D platform, yes it's the same, it's like the 16-bit, the kind of same visuals, but there's a hell of a lot going on, and there's a lot more to do. There's different kind of baddies, there's different kind of fast tracks, but the kind of springs are still there. It's just chaotic, but it's controlled, and you still feel like you're in control, even though you're flying around these rings, jumping up through the air, collecting the coins and all that. It's just, I don't know. It's one of my favourite games of the show, because of how much I love Sonic and that franchise, and the fact that it's not just re-releasing the originals. It's doing a lot more, but keeping that essence, as I said. And it was just really good fun, and I loved it. I just loved it. It was excellent.
So the same, we'll very briefly talk about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because we played a quick track on that, and that was again handheld mode, and it played great. 720p that screen is. It was 60 frames. It was smooth as butter. To be honest, I don't know why that's not a launch game.
Yeah,
because it certainly seems finished. Like, I don't know why that's not coming out right now. I really, well, right now, March. I don't get why that's delayed. To and same for Splatoon. Looks finished. Looks like a very small iteration upon Splatoon originally, which I loved. So I'm definitely going to be happy playing Splatoon 2. My kids love Splatoon, so again, win-win for me. 1-2 Switch, then. If you haven't seen it, go check out the video of Chris milking. Well, you're probably seeing it in the background of this right now. So we talked about milk, which is weird. There's what else did we play? There's the Gunslinger game, which is again wants you to stare at one another, and like when you hear a noise, pull. Which it wasn't the easiest thing to play in a very noisy environment. But the star of the show is Ball Counter, or Ball Count, which Chris HD Rumble.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature, which it'd be great to see implement in other games down the line. But essentially, this one game, Ball Count, you are holding the controller in your hand, flat down. And
just the Joy-Con, isn't it? Or is what is that called? Just the
I don't know.
One of the side parts of the Joy-Con.
I've been calling it the sidebars of the Joy-Con, so whether that's right or not. But you hold that flat in your hand, and you hold it as if you're holding a box, and you would move the controller left, right, up, down, all around, whatever. But inside, there's pinpoint vibrations which kind of hit when you move the controller to make it feel like there are balls rolling around in this box. So you could do it, move the box as slow or as fast as you want to try and work out how many balls the game's making you think are in that box at that time. So, I mean, we played a few, and it did change. It seemed to stick on 4 for a while, but then at one point there was 2. One point there was more.
Because they feel like rubber balls rolling around in your hand, but they aren't there.
Yeah.
The two schools of thoughts is, one is I think that's an amazing tech. Like, genuinely, probably, I really like the hardware. I've done a video about that. Go watch that. The hardware feels incredibly premium. As I say, go watch that. But in terms of software, this is like the most incredible thing. Like, I haven't felt this kind of innovation in a long time. It's unique to the I nearly said Wii U. It's unique to the Switch. Like, there's nothing else out there like this.
No.
And my first thought was, but it's never going to get used. But then I've thought about this in the weeks since we've been. I don't feel like they would have spent all this time and money R&Ding that thing if they haven't already got ideas for it. Because you don't spend all that money and time just to have for one mini game inside a collection that isn't even a pack-in. I feel like there's going to be use of that. I just don't think that we are smart enough to know what they're going to do with it. They've decided that. But I really thought that was impressive. Genuinely impressive.
Yeah, it would be cool. Even just like little things like, I don't know, you take off a Joy-Con in a game and it's simulating taking a drink out of a fridge or something, and you pour it into a cup, and you'd feel
that. A good shout.
Just little things like that. A tiny little.
You see, I think there was part of that in Milk that we didn't pick up on.
Right.
I think the idea in there that because it's such an insane thing to be doing generally in like a public place. I think as you grip at the top and pull it down, I think the HD Rumble simulates as if you feel the milk coming through.
Right. Okay.
But I
Yeah.
don't think we picked up on that, because I think if we'd played the ball count game first, we might have realised it. I mean, this is a very brief sort of impressions
Yeah.
piece on the Switch. I think both of us are very mixed. Like I'm incredibly excited to get the hardware in my hands. Like, I properly just sit there and really go to town on the UI. I always love that, and I do think there are very big similarities with the Wii U. However, comparing the two, I feel like the Switch feels like a premium thing. Like, what the Wii U gamepad was fine, always felt cheap. The Switch feels premium. I hate to keep saying that word, premium, but it does feel premium. 3 times in the trot there for you. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't really know why Mario Kart isn't coming at launch. I mean, Zelda, phenomenal. Like, that game looks incredible.
Yeah.
And the argument is, but you can play it on Wii U. You can. It's probably going to look a higher resolution on the Switch. In fact, I think they've confirmed it is.
Yeah.
Have we forgotten anything? Is that all the Switch stuff we played?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I
it.
think that was everything. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a video running that showed Mario Odyssey, but you couldn't play it, so we didn't watch that because I think it was just the trailer anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, then, so follow Chris at First Avenger 83. I'm at GBSF. We'll bring you more Switch news when we get it. When we get the hardware, you'll know about it, etc. We can't wait to play more. Very much a mixed bag, especially software-wise. We'll see how some of that plays when you get it in our hands and actually reviewing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Okie dokie. Well, thanks for your time, Chris, and we'll catch you next time.